Hello, everybody. This is Pete from Paw Labs. And so in the game, we're all ready to do the export. Well, I finished the export today, so I figured I would go ahead and do a video on it. And what I have done was I built a new code sheet called the export import. And the first function I put in here is confirm paths. Now, confirm paths comes out and says, okay, I decided we're going to put this in my document, WarGame, new games for the new games folder export. And then saved games would have its own folder. And when the server saves games or what have you, it saves them here. Now, this first routine comes out and looks to see if there's a WarGame folder. If there's not a WarGame folder in your documents path directory, then it creates it. Then it says, okay, let's look to see if new games exists. And then if not, we create it, and then saved games, then create it. So he's all done. So that's just a function that's built. And then we have the load procedures, and then we have the export procedure and the import procedure. Okay, so what we're going to do is look at the export game. So export game is going to path itself to our new games folder because we're going to export a completed game. And then we're going to derive the game name. Now, what I have done is incremented for there to be up to 99 different copies of the same game in the same folder. And then I'll give you an error and just say, hey, we're not going to export it anymore. So the first number he comes to, we take the game name and replace all the spaces with underscores. And then I add an underscore 0 and a number. Okay, so we're going to pick up 2 bytes here. And we're going to see if that exists. And if it does exist, we're going to finish and just keep going. When it doesn't exist, we're going to say, okay, that's our path, and get out of that loop. So then we come down here and say, okay, we're going to come in and say, okay, let's create our directory of the export name that we came up with. And then what we want to do is loop through our maps and create the map images, PNG images of our map and our grid. So if you have more of them, then you'll have more of them here. And then we will then come down and create the JSON structure. And I did a video on creating JSON structures. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with pretty print on so we can take a look at it and just confirm that it looks pretty good. And then I'm going to actually export out our sprite sheets into that same folder. So I've added a new sprite sheet, and that is the unit action menus, which are the cool little 3 surrounding hexes that poof up with a menu on it. Right now, it just kind of poofs up. That's about all it does. I don't have the buttons yet. So what I've done is hook all of this up to the code in the system. I also went ahead in and finally have added in the RTF. So we can actually do RTF now on the synopsis of the game and make it look cutesy and fancy. So we have that there. We come out here to design the game, and here we go. And now watch how fast this exports all of this. So it's mighty quick, even with low resources, and it's done. And he had to go create the directories and do everything this time. I did it a few minutes ago, and then I blew the whole structure away just so we could see it for the first time again. So we come out here to WarGame, and we have new games and saved games. We have new games, and he should have a folder inside him of Empire Game 01. If I export him again, it'll be 02, then all the way up to 99 different times. And believe it or not, I probably will export this a dozen or two or three times before we finish this out. And then we have our sprite sheet, the unit action map sprite sheets. We have our grid, we have our map, and then I'm going to go ahead and open this JSON file up in Atom. Atom is a pretty awesome little program for looking at JSON files. So it gives you the ability to collapse the different segments and stuff like that. So this is a pretty big file. Bear with me a second. And it's going to pop up here directly. Yes, I know you're coming up slowly. There we go. So if we were to horseplay around and say, all right, Jason, let's go to the bottom of this guy. I think I can do can I do an end down? Nah, that's not going to do it. Okay, let's see how fast I can get down there. This is quite a big file. The guy's way up here. So yeah, we have 18,984 records in this table. So that's a lot of JSON. So the beauty of Atom here is that he lets you collapse down the segments so you can see what's going on. So we have our game maps collection. We have our grid and the name of the map, and then we come into all of this. So all of this is the entire WarGame exported. And so the first thing that the player is going to do is give you a list. And now that I have this here, let's see if I actually got that working. There's a 1 in, I would say probably a 3 in 10 chance that this will work. This is completely untested. I was writing this a little while ago, and I decided to do a video instead of keeping working on this. Oh, look, almost. Okay, so we got dot and dot, the two. Okay, so it actually worked. So we're looking at new games. And if I click the button, it'll flip over to the saved game folder. So I now know I have to go out there and say, okay, we need file names that aren't dot and dot. And then we could actually select our game and go to host. Now, what's going to happen when we get to host? This will actually be the screen that is going to use system defaults that can be configured to use your IP address. What game you're hosting is what you selected from the other screen. You're going to be able to choose your player that you want to choose because you're hosting. And then you can start the server. And when the server starts, it'll scroll down here until the other person on your network joins the game, and then they get issued the other player. So as you can see, this is coming along pretty nicely. Not bad for 2 days effort, huh? So anyhow, that's the end of this video, and I want to say thanks a lot.